Hi folks, yeah, once again welcome back to the brand new session, and the topic for this session is called looping, and we will be dealing here the topic that is related with do while looping or only while looping, or using the for looping, or and also the for looping with break and continue statements. Alright, so I have directly provided you without any theoretical background. I'm just giving you the example, okay, and its implementation. And okay, so let's begin with the example. And okay, if you go and check out the example, you will see I'm using the same format as I'm just writing whole program in the main function. I am declaring two variables, that is I and j, that is initialized to respectively 0 um, and first thing what I am doing is implementation of do while loop. Okay, the difference between do while loop and the while loop, here I am going to implement implementation of while loop. Do while loop always, even if the condition doesn't satisfy, do while loop at least prints the first time. So here at least you will get the first result whether the condition satisfies or not. This is the condition check, that is while this condition satisfies, you have to keep on printing or doing such, performing such activities. Okay, and the main purpose of looping is also that it performs such a time within the following condition until and unless the following condition satisfies, that is until and unless the index, that is I, that is incremented till it reaches the value 10, then you keep on printing those values. So you keep on doing or printing the statement until and unless you satisfy the condition. So, and the difference between do and while, do while loop and the while loop is like at least it will print one times even if the condition doesn't satisfy. Alright, so whereas you can also implement using the while loop. So these are different method. Okay, so this is the first method, you can loop it with do while, and either you can also loop it using just while. And while, if the condition doesn't satisfy, then the statement will not be printed out. Okay, so you have to be careful in this fact here. So this was for while. So, and you can clearly see that how it is implemented here. This is the format here. You have to always use do with the curly bracket, and lastly the while statement here with the conditional check, and it must be terminated by this semicolon sign. Okay, and not semicolon, it's like the termination character. Whereas also while is like you directly do the while check with the curly bracket, and you do not need to terminate here. Okay, so be careful about this fact. And now there is also alternative, that is for looping. Okay, implementation in this for looping implementation, that is totally different than do while loop and while loop, because while you are using while loop, you initialize the variable here, that is int I equals to 0, then you say I is less than 10, then you have to increment, okay, the incrementer. But in case of the for loop, what you have to do is you have to you can directly initialize I equals to 0 here, and you can say I is less, the condition check is provided here, that is I is less than 30, and the incrementation, the operator incrementation operator is also provided here. Okay, there are three statements that must be provided in case of the for looping. And lastly, until and unless the condition satisfies, you keep on printing the statements. And lastly, we also have I'm trying to discuss here something about the break and continue statement while you are using for loop. This is the extra trick while you are using the for loop in some kind of peculiar situation. Like for example, if you are using the for loop, you initialize the variable, you print that this is break statement. So if the condition check says that if within this loop, okay, you have to be careful that break statement is used within the loop, and especially the for loop. So what is done is, if following case, like if k, the variable, is greater than or equals to 15, actually the maximum criteria is it must be less than 20, but if it is greater than 15, then immediately you break. That means we terminate the loop using the statement here. That means after 15 nothing is going to happen, nothing is going to print out. Okay, the statement is not going to print out. So this is the statement, and like this is the main purpose of the break. That means if the condition satisfies, then with this condition the loop is going to terminate. Okay, so this is the idea of break statement. Now let's do for the print a continue statement. And for the continue statement, what is, you can also use continue statement with do while loop, and also you can use break with do while loop. Okay, so what is done here is, like, you check the condition. If p is equals to 5, then you increment the value of p and continue. So this means that you want to skip the particular case, that is when p is equals to 5, you just do not want to print that. Then for that purpose you have to use this continue statement, and you print out and you increment the counter and you check the condition, that is p is less than 20, right? And lastly you return 0, because your main function is returning the integer as a return type. So when you build and run it, you will find the following result. Okay, so let's check out the result. And this was alright, because it is going to print the statement until and unless it's less than 10. If you want to also print 10, then you have to use equals to, also equals to 10, also equals to 20, also including the 10. That means, okay, so let me close this, build and run it again. Yeah, this time you can see that also the 10 is included, that 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So it is printing the statement 10 times. Obviously it's like 11 times including 0 also. Alright, so you can also say it's printing 21 times here including 0, and also here 30 times including 31 times, that is including 0. And the most important case is about the break statement. And for the break statement, you can see that with the loop you have the conditional check, and you want to break after when the condition check of the variable reaches 15, right? So look, you can see that after 15 nothing is printed out. You can also increment the value to, maybe let's print it up till 18. Okay, so let's see again, just build and run. So it will print out until 18. Okay, look, you can see that it's printing from starting from 10 till 18, then after 18 it's going to just break. So the loop is breaking. Alright, and for the case of the continue, you see that the case that 5, when p is equals to 5, it is just skipped. That is p is equals to 4 is printed out, p is equals to 5 is just skipped. Then the loop continues and say that p is equals to 6 7 8 9 10 11 till 19, because p is less than 20. Alright, so this was just about the initial description. and the implementation and use of do while loop, while loop, for loop, and using break and continue statement in for loop. So thanks for your concentration and listening to my session, and I'll be back with my new session for C programming. Till then,